the one color that matters, and that is the color of red, white. Focusing on the colors that unite us, USA.
Hello, America. Good evening to you. I'm Pastor Mark Burns, and you're watching The Colors That Unite. I want to apologize to you. We had some slight technical issues, but that's what happens when you're doing a good message and impacting people. You run into problems, but you don't stop. But I am excited you're joining me today. For those of you who are watching all over on the internet and all over the world, I bid you welcome to this wonderful show. And again, thanks to Right Side Broadcasting Network, RSBN, Joe and the whole team. We here again as we're counting down to the last couple of weeks before the vote. Listen, I don't care what any other poll says to you. The only poll that matters is the poll that's going to happen on November the 8th. All right, in November. That's the only poll that matters. The final poll. That means you getting out to vote. And for those of you who are in states that you can vote early, you need to be out voting. Several of my friends in Tennessee and some of the other states, they were out voting early, getting the word out there. So that's all that matters. Everything else don't matter. So you just need to make sure, despite what the polls are saying, and even though right now the polls are suggesting that Mr. Trump is up by 3 points, and the conservative movement is moving forward. It doesn't matter what they say or what mainstream media says. What matters is you get out and vote. The question that I'm putting before you today is because, again, WikiLeaks released a batch of emails, and back in April of 2011, John Bastesta, if I'm saying his name right, who is chief of staff of Hillary Clinton campaign, and speaking with another senior fellow of the Center of American Progress for John Haplin, were having some email conversations. They was talking to each other. And when they had a conversation, again, keep in mind, this is Hillary Clinton's inner circle. And it's sad because mainstream media is not talking about this. I mean, mainstream media is not, they should be talking about it. It should be in the news cycle over and over and over again, but it's not. But in this, in Hillary Clinton's inner circle, they said things like Catholics are phonies, are only opting to go to public Catholic schools because being an evangelical is socially unacceptable, and attracted, and people who are evangelicals, we are attracted to severely backwards gender relations. This is the comments that has been said by Hillary Clinton's inner circle. The question that I'm putting before you, and to every person that's viewing this broadcast live and those who will view it later: should Hillary Clinton offer an apology to Catholics and Christians? Because I'm going to say it out loud. You probably thinking about it, but I'm going to say it out loud. That had it been a comment about Islam, had it been a comment about Jews or the Jewish heritage, had it been a comment with one of those religious groups, there would have been a massive outcry, and Hillary Clinton would have quickly offered some type of apology to those prospective religions and to those persons of faith who believe in those religions. But for us in Catholicism, and for those of us who are evangelical Christians, there is complete silence from the Hillary camp. Complete silence. That obviously we're not good enough or important enough to receive an apology from the inner circle of Hillary Clinton, to receive somewhat of an acknowledgement Now, keep in mind, this is her chief of staff, the inner circle group of Democratic nominee Hillary Rodham Clinton, and yet there is no apology. There has been no apology issued by the Clinton camp. I want you to call in 864-373-0001. Join in the conversation. Give me your thoughts. Again, because there's a long list of people that are calling in, we want to try to get to as many people as possible. So please do not set your phone on mute. Just stay in. If you're in queue right now, don't turn it on mute. Just keep it on. So when I come to you, you'll hear us. You'll be able to talk right in, ask your question, or make your short statement, and then we'll move on to the next caller. Brighton, if I'm saying that right, Brighton, welcome to the show, to the colors that unite. Brighton, where are you calling us from?
Canada.
Canada, from Canada, the great country of Canada. Welcome to the show, Brighton.
Mm-hmm. I personally think she should apologize, but the fact that it's not really covered by the media is just quite disgusting, honestly. Because one, the foundations of the United States is freedom of religion. Like, this is coming from an atheist. I feel like I don't believe in Christianity or any God or anything, but the fact that there's some sort of suppression towards those with Christian values, I think it's kind of disturbing, because the freedom of expression is, in terms of religion, is being slipped away. And just the fact that somebody can come out and say, like, they are not too fond of homosexuality, and they just say, oh, I believe the scripture, but they get buckled as being, hate speech. And I think that's quite disgusting, because if somebody was actually putting towards violence towards somebody with homosexuality, I could get it. But
Sure.
if somebody's just expressing their view, it's just, I think that's just really sad, in my opinion.
Brighton, I want to tell you, you really said something right on the nail. Is because Brighton, you're not even a believer, and I respect you, for your beliefs, and that's what make Jesus didn't force anybody to believe, and so that's how you feel. But what's important is, even from a non-believer's perspective, I need America to get this. Even from a non-believer's perspective, that he can recognize that there is a muzzle on the Christian faith, and from outside forces, and that says something. I mean, I can understand, for those of us who are believers, yes, we're recognizing that this is taking place to those of us of the Christian faith, but for a non-believer to recognize the same thing, that he doesn't believe, but everyone should have a right to believe in what they desire to believe, and a right to express that, and we should be respected by those who are in government. But yet, Hillary Clinton has refused to issue an apology. And Brighton, you really hit it right on the nail. I want to thank you for making that comment. I mean, again, why in the world hasn't she issued an apology? Why in the world has she not issued an apology? Preston from Greeley, South Carolina, the great state of South Carolina. Welcome to the show. Shouldn't she apologize?
Hello?
Welcome to the show.
Hello?
You're live on the show. Welcome to the show. Preston,
Yes, sir.
should Hillary Clinton apologize?
Hillary Clinton should definitely apologize, and I think the whole Democratic Party should apologize. Pastor Burns, this is Preston Williams from the Anointed Williams family, so it's good to be on your show.
Wonderful. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Right here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing a radio show Tuesday down in Columbia, and really, as Christians of all colors, races, and creeds, we have to get serious about protecting our religious liberty.
Absolutely.
If we had as much oomph and as much mojo behind protecting our religious liberty as we've been organized behind protecting the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms,
Come on.
we've been in a much better position.
Come on.
But what we've done is we've rolled over and we've pointed up our necks to the Democratic Party. And for any African Americans, anybody of any creed and color, a person of faith that can stand behind people that literally have your religion and your to the point it's not just a very considered to be most likely to be a domestic, saying that we might need to Christianity is under attack, and we have to take that more serious. So for all my brothers and sisters that are wanting to line up behind Hillary, you know, growing up, my mom always told us that there was going to be a day, and this is even back in the 70s. She always told us, and she still tells us there's going to come a day to where they're going to try to make that Bible illegal. The Bible never lied about nothing it said.
Yep.
That our faith is going to almost be to the point where it's illegal. And I never thought that I'd be alive when that day came. But it has definitely came, because virtually it's illegal. And for her to attack anybody because of their faith, you know, when she claims to be a Christian herself, she should apologize, and she should be excoriated, and she should be disqualified.
And for everyone that don't know who you are, this is an African American from the South, right here in Greenville, South Carolina, where I'm at. And we had it misspelled on the border here, but Greenville, South Carolina, is where we are at, where you're calling from. And I want all our listeners, again, as I said, there are more black people in this country that will be voting their faith. Voting their conscience, voting, and whether you like Donald Trump's personality or not, he's the only candidate between the two that says, I am behind religious liberties. All you had to do was just watch the last debate, the final debate, which I was there. I was there at the last debate. And when it came down to choosing the Supreme Court justice question, you know, Hillary Clinton made it very clear that she's going to choose Supreme Court justices that will interpret the Constitution as a living, breathing document, meaning that they will interpret the Constitution not as the founders wrote it, but based off of our current society. And so we are moving further and further away from the true intentions of and the foundations of our great nation of the United States of America, and more people from outside influences are coming in. We're losing who we are as a great nation. Where Donald Trump says, I'm going to make sure that when I'm president, I'm going to choose Supreme Court justices that will interpret the Constitution as it was written when our founders founded the Constitution of the United States of America. Brother, thank you so much for calling. You're right down the street. You got to come and see me, my friend. You got to come and see me, because we are marching. We got a huge announcement come this Saturday and Sunday. We are marching on the White House. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Americans are coming together, and we are taking back our country. We are taking back, if you can help me out, if y'all can fact check me on the name of the group and the organization that's hosting this, but yours truly, I'll be speaking, one of the speakers at this event at over America, right? And then we are marching, we're to the White House. The group is called March for America 16. March for America 16. You're right down the street from me. You should come on with us and be one of those that are in this massive group of Americans that is saying we don't agree with how mainstream media has not been taking care of both candidates equally. We don't like how mainstream media and the powers that be, how they treat Christians and people of faith. And we are not ashamed of being conservatives, and we're black, we're white, we're Asian, we're whatever race we are. At the end of the day, we are Americans. You need to go March for March America 16. March America 16. Everybody on Facebook. March America 16. I want everybody who is on RSBN to make sure you are there. RSBN, obviously, we want to make sure you're there. There's media from all over the world. We're told that it is generating a lot of chatter. People are going to be coming from all over the country, and I was invited, truly blessed to be one of the main speakers. I'll be praying that day from the Capitol grounds, and then I'll be speaking with other great speakers, and it is coming together this Saturday and Sunday in D.C. March for America 16. Make sure, I want you to come. Connect with me. You're right down the street.
I'm going to hit you up on Facebook again, but I just want to drop this one thing for the African-American pastors out there. If what you're doing faith-wise by selling your votes and pushing your people towards Hillary Clinton is nothing less than what your forefathers did in selling your people off the chattel slavery here in the country. It is an atrocity, and for any black pastors that's encouraging your people to vote for somebody that's pro-abortion, anti-traditional marriage, anti-Christian, is nothing less than selling your people off into slavery. So I just wanted to drop that, Pastor, and I would definitely connect with you, and I'm going to plug it when I do this radio station. And it's a liberal radio station.
I would love you there. I would love you there. Let me know we're there. Thank you so much, Preston, for calling in to the Colors Unite, brother. And hopefully we'll connect to you in person real soon. I want you there. Call 864-373-0001. We have James from Florida. James, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show. Should Hillary Clinton apologize for the comments her inner circle made towards Christians and Catholics and even Hispanics?
You talking to me?
You're live on the show. Welcome.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yes, you are. We're talking to you. Welcome to the show.
Oh, okay, brother. Listen, I just have a message that I put in these things here where you write down to everybody. I don't know exactly what you call it again. That's the message I want to give, okay? We have to stop worrying about these people, what they're doing. We need to just look to God. Okay, we need to look to our Heavenly Father and ask Him to guide us in everything that's going on here. And we know in our hearts the one who is blessed to lead our country. And it's not this woman, okay? It's definitely not her.
Absolutely.
If you cannot see that, you do not have the gift of discernment.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree with you. I'm 100% agree. We got to be, again, it goes back to the to people of faith. If we're people of faith, then it ends up with our personal relationship with God. At the end of the day, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. Thank you, brother. Catherine, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Catherine, welcome to the show. Are you with us?
I am.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Pastor Burns. I enjoy listening to you. I'd like to say that whether Hillary would apologize to Americans or not, I think makes no difference whatsoever. I think that we've seen the two sides of Hillary, and if she apologized at this point, I don't know that I would believe her. I think that everything that's come out on her, I think that the corruption and everything that I see. So she apologizes to me, and I, as a Christian woman, and I'm in North Carolina, I'm in a swing state, and I will tell you that I have spoken to a lot of Christians that but I'll say this, that it plays to the white crowd, she plays to the poor crowd, she plays to the Hispanic crowd, she plays to whoever needs to be played to.
Yes.
And so if she apologizes, who's she playing to? Is she playing to the Catholics and the Christians again? I think so. And so I think it's a little too late, too little too late for her. And I don't know that, and I know that if God tells me that someone asks for forgiveness, to accept their forgiveness, but because forgiveness is truly my gift. It's a gift to me. But I don't know that I would believe her words.
Right.
I think that if she did at this point, it would be for a vote. It would be damage control. But I don't believe that it would be coming from her heart. And I'm upset that we allow our Muslim women to go through what they go through, yet she speaks nothing of the radical Islamic terrorists that do this to women.
Yes.
She accepts money from these nations.
She do.
7 Muslim nations. She accepts money from them, and then she wants to say that she is for the women and children, but yet she wants a world economy.
Right.
Because something you said earlier about the Constitution of the United States of America,
Yes.
not of the world, of the United States of America.
Right.
The second debate she had, she talked about, or at some point she was talking, she said that she was looking for Supreme Courts that would recognize how the world is changing. Our Constitution doesn't have anything to do with the world. It has everything to do with the United States of America.
Right.
And when she said, how she wants her Supreme Court justice to see how the world is changing,
Yes.
what's that got to do with America?
No, you're
that's
absolutely
telling me
right. I'm you know what, and you're right on the money when you said when she made that statement on the last debate. There's so many other people of faith that they immediately turned off from her because she completely said, I'm not going to, in other words, I'm not going to fight for your religious liberties, but I'm going to, we're going to make decisions based off of the direction of the world and direction of where we are today. And everyone in America knows that people of faith, religion in this country is not being respected by our governments. It's not been respected by the general population because the governments of this country has become corrupt, and it is because we are losing the battle. We will win the war, but we're losing the battle. That's why every person of faith, I've said this over and over again, every person of faith in this country needs to be voting for Donald Trump to become the next president of the United States of America. And I'm going to keep talking about this march coming up this Saturday and Sunday. I want every one of you who is watching this broadcast, every one of you, to make plans to march on Washington. That's this Saturday and this Sunday, starting at 3 p.m. each, starting, they give me the right time because I think 9 a.m. That's right. This Saturday at 9 a.m. we'll be meeting at the Capitol House in Washington, D.C. And I'm one of the main speakers that will be speaking October the 29th and the 30th. That's this Saturday and Sunday. Meet me. Go ahead and get your airplane tickets. Go ahead and get your hotels. Come to those days. Let's make a huge statement. We're expecting 20 to 30,000 people from all over the country. I want you to be in the mix. I want RSBN to be in the mix. Because you are the true Americans. You are the true Americans. You represent what we stand for. And we are taking our country back. It is time for Americans and Americans to take our country back. October the 29th and the 30th in Washington, D.C. at 9 a.m. I'll be starting it off with a prayer to the nation on the Capitol grounds, and then I'll be speaking my heart out, and then we're going to march from the Capitol House to the White House as a nation, as a group of Americans. And the whole purpose is to take our country back. It is to make sure, all you got to do is just go to March for America 2016. Go to March for America 2016. Go on Facebook, search March for America 2016 in support of Donald Trump. We're going to do this. It is going to be massive. Make sure you're getting out there. Just go on Facebook right now. If you're on Facebook, if you're on the chat room, I want you just to type it in there. March for America 2016. March for America 2016. Everybody, just begin to chat on it. March for America 2016. This is a movement, and we're going to make sure that the power is in the hand of Americans. March for America 2016 in Washington, D.C. at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will, and it is in support of Donald Trump, we will be speaking on the Capitol grounds. It's going to be a powerful moment, speaking on the Capitol grounds, and then together we're going to march from the Capitol grounds all the way to the White House, and we're making a statement that we Americans are taking our country back. March for America 2016. Get on Facebook. That's this Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. International media is going to be there. National media is going to be there. Americans are coming from all over the country. They even have hoodies, and they have, red hoodies and red shirts. We're getting the word out there. We are not going to sit back and let anyone steal our election. Voters fraud. We're got our eyes, and we're going to make sure that our voice be heard this Saturday and Sunday, March for America 2016. Patricia from Texas. Patricia, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Colors That Unite.
Hello, Pastor Mark. Good to be with you, and thank you so much it's been nice seeing you out on the stump for Trump. Listen, I want to talk about, Pastor, the traditional Catholics that have heard what Mrs. Clinton has said. And it is absolutely enough for us to be so upset. All the people here that I know in Texas who are traditional Catholics, that we vote with our hearts, we vote for these people who want to do abortions, for religious freedom. Most everyone I talk to will not vote for this woman. You do not need to be a Catholic or anything else, just a normal person who could ever vote for somebody who literally would rip, and using Donald Trump's words, a 9-month-old baby out of the womb. This is unbelievable. The problem, Pastor Burns, is with the Novus Ordo Catholics. What I mean by that is the Catholic faith that has changed since the Vatican II, okay? And unfortunately, she has picked Tim Kaine, who is of that faith. He is a Jesuit, and what's happened over the Catholic countries, especially in South America, and also through different areas in Europe, we have seen a degradation of the Catholic faith, the sacraments, the rosary, the dogma of the church, which is basically one for life, Pastor Burns, as you know, as evangelicals know. And what I'd like to say is that the only thing that we can do is traditional Catholics, and I don't know, Pastor Burns, if you could somehow pass this on to Donald Trump, is that we are very much for him. Our voice doesn't get heard because it's drowned out by the liberation ideology behind Catholics like Tim Kaine, behind Catholics like Nancy Pelosi, and so forth. That is what we're fighting against.
Absolutely. And
I just wanted to put a shout out for all the traditional Catholics who are in FSPX and other organizations. We're with you. We're with the evangelicals. We're with you, Pastor Burns. And I can say, please say a novena. All the Catholics that are listening, that are watching on RSBN, say a novena for this election. May St. Michael the Archangel defend us all in battle. And if we could also invoke St. Thomas More, who's the patron saint of statesmen. And I really think she should apologize, but she won't, Pastor Burns, because the Catholics, if you watch the Al Smith dinner, what Mr. Trump did was fabulous. It was a group of apostates, a lot of them, to the faith. And it made my blood boil to just sit there and watch that. And no wonder he had the look on his face. I could tell that he was just thinking, why am I here? This is horrible. And watching, God forgive me, Cardinal Dolan, okay, who was behind having gays in the St. Patrick's Day parade, was just too much. Again, for him to sit there with a woman who would condone abortion, any abortion, and totally, her campaign is for destroying and infiltrating the Catholic Church. But we know, as you probably know, I'm sure, Pastor Burns, that it already has done. And so It's already being destroyed within, and all I can do is ask everybody, Christians and evangelicals and Catholics, to pray.
Absolutely.
That no matter what the media says,
Yes.
we can see, we watch the dinner, that
Yes.
most of those people are media, liberal, progressive, anti-religion, anti-freedom, and anti-Catholic, evangelical, everything else. And we will take our country back.
Taking it back.
November 8th.
Taking it
Very
back.
much so, Pastor
Taking
Burns.
it back. Taking it back. Taking it back. Taking it back. This is what I'm talking about. Taking it back. You are absolutely right. Catholics, evangelicals, Christians, all of us together, we're uniting. Again, the name of this show is Colors Unite. Colors that unite. Colors that unite. We are uniting together. We're putting aside our differences in religion, and we are coming together knowing that Hillary Clinton is not a friend to people of faith. Not a friend. That's why that march this Saturday and Sunday, October the 29th and the 30th in Washington, D.C. You need to be there. I want to see big, huge RSBN signs. I want to see huge Trump signs. I want to see everyone wearing red, taking our country back, making sure that we make a huge, huge announcement that we are the citizens of the United States of America, and we're not going to fall for the division that comes from the Democratic Party, that's coming from Hillary Clinton. But we're coming together, united as one people, one voice. I need you to be there. I need you to get your tickets. I know it's short notice, but I need you to march for America in support of Donald Trump 2016. We're going to be at the Capitol grounds at 9 a.m. that Saturday morning, 9 a.m., October the 29th. And then together, after I speak and after some other great speakers are speaking, we're then going to march from the Capitol grounds all the way to the White House, and we're making a huge statement to the world. I'm told national media is going to be there. International media is going to be there. Israel's largest media television outlet will be there. And we are declaring to the world, we are with Israel. We are standing with Israel. We are standing for America. We are standing for the common citizen. And we are taking our country back. Everybody, again, if you're chatting on Facebook, if you're chatting on the YouTube, that you need to make sure that you are talking about March for America 2016. Just go on Facebook. And I think people are putting links up there right now. Just make sure you are there. Click I am interested. Click I am going. Drive. Get a train. Fly. Do whatever you got to do. But make sure you are there this Saturday and Sunday. We're marching on the White House, and we're going to start on Capitol ground, and we're going to do it together, and we're going to show Hillary Clinton, the Democrat, that we're standing, and we will not liberal outlets or whoever is trying to deter us. We're not even caring about what the polls are saying, because the only poll that matter at this point is one that's going to be in November, the day we select our next president of the United States of America. Cher from Florida. Cher, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Callers here. I believe that a lot of people don't understand upbringing, maybe, as well as her married life, and as well as currently. And I think that influenced her right along with teaching our youth that, it's okay to do all this stuff that Hillary has done in her past and currently. And I don't condone about each of the parties.
Yes.
The Republican Party started as a Christian liberal party in the very beginning. No matter what faith they were, no matter what religion they were.
Right.
And they basically backed up the Republican Party, and over the years switched a little bit on their ideas a little bit. But I'm glad to see that a lot more multi-faiths are basically picking it back up again into
Yes.
the Republican Party because of the belief system that it involves.
Absolutely.
But I'm really concerned about our youth. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. You know, it makes no difference, you know, who they support. I think this actually is an issue for our Morals and Ethics Committee here in the United States, that Hillary is basically not working with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's teaching our youth, and they're wondering why we have so many fights. And they've proven that, you know, all these fights that we've had throughout the United States was basically caused by her campaign. They bought and paid people to do it and have these riots, and some people maybe even killed.
Right.
A lot of people also, like I say, I've actually studied a lot of this stuff in my past, but as well as currently. But also, since Hillary has a connection with Soros, Soros actually has a connection with the Illuminati. And according to the Vatican Church, the Vatican Church has the Illuminati as well as, you know, the Freemason connection there.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that all religions have a good side and bad side, including Muslims, let alone Christians or Protestants or, you know, Buddhism and so on and so forth. Every religion has a good and bad side to it. It's just like a coin. But as for, you know, the situation with the connection with Soros and Illuminati, you know, people got to understand that it's not completely all her doing. She's a puppet. She's a puppet. And her puppet is from Soros, and it's coming from the Illuminati. And the Illuminati is basically a reverse of the church.
Right. And it's obviously shown. I mean, it's obviously shown that there's some type of groups like that are really just trying to destroy the church and to try to just again, and it's happening on a daily basis. I mean, again, you just see what's happening in our schools. You see what's happening on our Capitol grounds. See, the Ten Commandments have been removed. They're taking God out of everything that has made America great again, which is why we have to be. I truly believe, America, this is our last opportunity to have a conservative president that will stay true to the principles that they believe in. Because after this election, if Donald Trump doesn't win, okay, then the next Republican presidential nominee will probably begin to compromise on the strong faith beliefs, because they will begin to go over and start having some of the same ideology that the Democratic Party has in order to win more votes, become more neutral. Because if Donald Trump, with the movement that he has done and how God has positioned him and has rallied up the spirit of America in this country, and if he doesn't win, then the next Republican candidate 4 years later, they're not going to take such a hard belief and a hard stance on abortion. They're not going to take such a hard stance on religious freedom. And I believe at that point, Republicans will look more like Democrats when it comes to faith, and there won't be a clear-cut difference. So I believe this is our last opportunity to do that. If Donald Trump wins, then the next presidential candidate that comes after him, the next Republican candidate that comes after him, will know that America still desires to have a
beliefs of basically the world. She's working with the Merkel New World Order type people who really don't like religion. They consider it a threat to their globalist agenda in order for everybody to basically have the same religion. So really what they're doing is they've created Jewish Voice for Peace, which is a Jewish front group, grassroots movement to sort of get rid of God in Judaism. Now, according to the WikiLeaks, they are trying to create a Catholic Spring, which means they want a grassroots organization of Catholics to come in and explain to Catholics that you don't really have to have any morality. You don't have to care about abortion. You don't have to care about, anything. And the real trick to this is once she gets to the Supreme Court, people who are maybe Donald Trump supporters can hear her comment on the Supreme Court. I'm very nicey nice, like,
Right.
well, we're going to put somebody, that matters to you guys. But the truth is, the first thing they're going to go after is our First Amendment.
Right.
Maybe our second, but really what they want to do is limit the First Amendment to the kind of amendment that the social justice warriors want, which is those trigger warning situations on college campuses. Once they get the First Amendment knocked down to where if you say something that offends somebody else, it's hate speech, it's doing one in Canada and everywhere else,
Right.
you're never get a Republican candidate again.
Right. You truly won't. And this is why it's so important that now more than ever, this is our last chance. I mean, you said exactly what I'm saying. This is our last chance. This is our last chance to make sure that we have a conservative presidential candidate in the White House. This is our last chance. We cannot miss this. Remember, if Donald Trump doesn't win, the next Republican candidate probably won't be so conservative. They will probably look like a progressive Republican, or a middle of the ground Democrat. This is key. We cannot at all allow this to take place again. You got to march this Saturday, this Sunday, October the 29th, and Sunday, October the 30th. I'll be there. I'll be speaking. There'll be some other great speakers that are going to be there. Thousands of people coming from all over the country. A lot of national media will be there. And we are marching on to the White House. We'll be speaking on the Capitol grounds. And together as one big family of brothers and sisters as Americans, we're going to be marching to the White House. That's this Saturday and Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. Make sure you get there. Plane, car, train, bus, whatever you got to do, get there. Make sure you're wearing red. And I want to see a lot of RSBN signs. I want to see a lot of believers out there. And we're marching. Welcome to the show, Alan. Welcome to the Colors That Unite. Should Hillary Clinton apologize?
No, absolutely not. I'd rather know for sure and have it on record exactly what she thinks instead of giving her an opportunity to dodge it and put out some teary-eyed apology that is insincere.
Right.
So I'm glad she's on record. And the real reason I called is a good friend of mine, an African-American, is currently in Kurdistan. He told me when Donald Trump first announced that he was going to vote for Donald Trump, and Memorial Day barbecue that we had to send him off, that day I asked him about, was he still going to vote for Trump? He said, sure. His daddy is a black African-American pastor on the north side of Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, he says, my dad finally told the congregation just how he feels about things and how disgusted he is, mm-hmm. and how he's supporting Trump. I'm like, ooh, how did that go over? He says, well, there was a few of the older ladies that, couldn't believe what they're hearing, but he told them. His brother, by the way, is an African-American officer here in Jacksonville with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Department. He, too, is supporting Trump. So I think the media is going to be very, very surprised.
Absolutely.
When Trump just blows through the United States, and they're going to be looking at those numbers going, the election must have been rigged.
I absolutely agree with you. And I want to tell you, I've been saying this for such a long time. Again, I've been there almost day one with Mr. Trump and the campaign. I've been traveling all over the country, as you know, speaking at his rallies. And I have a couple of more coming up as we're at the very end of this long race, over a year for me on this campaign trail. And again, I've been saying this from day one. There are more black Americans that are voting for Donald Trump than the polls would ever suggest. They really think that they got this one in the bag, but the fact of the matter is, black Americans in this country, they understand that Democrats been just using the vote, and we're not going down that road. We've tried Democrats for over 50 years, and it hasn't worked then, and it's not going to work now. And right now, we need a fresh start, a new face, and Donald Trump is who they're voting for, because they know the only way to fix the real issues within inner cities is creating jobs. Bringing that $2.1 trillion that's overseas, bring it back to the inner cities, bring it back to low-income areas in our country. And it's not just the inner cities. I mean, remember, poverty doesn't care if you're black or white. Poverty don't care where you're from, okay? So it's not just connected to one race. Poverty impacts millions of Americans in this country, and we have to change that. We have to change that, and Donald Trump is going to change that. I think my opinion is this. Actually, I'm going to continue to hear everyone's opinion, and then I will give you my opinion. Should Hillary Clinton apologize or not? Robin, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Don't forget, get to Washington, D.C. this Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. You want to be on the Capitol grounds. We're going to have a wonderful rally there, and then in support of Donald Trump, and then we're going to march to the White House together. Wearing red. Make sure you are in the audience. Welcome to the show.
Hello, this is Robin Poe from state of Washington, and I'm Catholic as well.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Should Hillary Clinton apologize to Catholics and Christians?
Well, I think we'd already made up our mind about her because of her stand. I mean, her actions spoke a lot louder than the words. The way she has not defended life, she has not defended the family, and so I think most of the Catholics I know, and a lot of the Catholic clergy are not getting any press from the media, obviously, but all across the country, we've got bishops speaking out against her.
Yep.
We've got priests speaking out against her.
Yep.
The priest in my parish, I heard this from the pulpit. He said, "You cannot vote for that woman." At this point, the Catholic clergy are fed up. They're saying, 501c, screw it. We don't care.
Absolutely.
We have to speak out. Yeah, they don't even care.
Kudos to your parish and the father. You're absolutely right. I mean, take the 501c3. We're not. I'm going to speak out. I'm going to speak out. We cannot vote for a person who. I mean, and the thing about it, the majority of Catholics voted for Obama in the last presidential election. You would think that she would take heed to the majority of the billions, the millions upon millions of Catholics in our country, and you would think that she would be quickly to at least play the political game, but she hasn't had enough respect for Catholics at all to issue any kind of apology, and to say anything, to say, hey, that's not how I feel, or nothing took place. It was as though it didn't matter. And you are right, Robin. The media is not covering it. That's why we're marching this Saturday and Sunday. This is why we are marching. We're saying we're tired of the liberal media not covering everything that they need to cover. They would spend 77 minutes on Donald Trump's tapes, but they would spend 13 minutes on mainstream media on the WikiLeaks emails. There's a huge gap there. And instead of playing both sides fairly, Okay, they're obviously biased against Donald Trump. Mike from Texas, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Should Hillary Clinton apologize for those remarks her inner circle made to Christians and Catholics in this country? Mike, welcome to the show. Mike, you're live and you're on the show. Welcome to the show.
Oh, I know Mark versus that should apologize for it because and I think Obama shouldn't campaign for because by campaigning for he's standing by that statement. So I'm just gonna make that short and sweet.
That's a very good point. I think I absolutely agree with you that should President Obama even stand by her? That's a very good point, Mike. And should President Obama continue to endorse President Obama continue to campaign for? Well, we already know the answer to that because I don't think President Obama really had a lot of love for Christians in this country and Catholics. I think he only used them once again just to get elected. And then, to be honest with you, there's got to be something said why so many Muslim refugees can enter into our country, but very few Christian refugees can enter. It's very difficult for Christians to enter into this country, but a lot easier for Muslims. Don from North Carolina. Don, thank you for calling the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show. Okay, so we'll go on to our next caller. We have. I'm so sorry. I was going to try to pronounce it, and I didn't want to mess it up live on the air. Tell everybody your name and where you're calling from. Next caller. Angelica.
Hi, no, it's Angelica. It's Spanish. It's Angelica.
Oh, Angelica. Beautiful. So beautiful. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you have me. A big supporter of you and Mr. Trump. And I'm just calling tonight to say that even though we think Hillary should apologize, we already know the agenda. We already know that she's not. I'm a Trump supporter. I've been a Democrat all my life, voted Democrat all my life. Let me tell you, I'm a public school teacher. I'm in the front and center of society and what we have come to.
Right.
Front and center, I see it all. And when I tell others that I'm a Trump supporter, they just cannot believe it. I teach in the inner city. I teach in the same district that I'm a product of. I'm proud to say, but I just the deterioration.
Wow.
And I just want to say that when I tell people I'm a Trump supporter, they cannot believe it. And they say, do you know that, if Trump is president, this is going to happen to you. You're going to lose your job for this or for that. And I'm like, it's already happening. It's already happening. I can't speak, my faith and my job. I can't, although I secretly do with my students on lunch or after school. But I can't. Mr. Obama pushed what was that? This was a transgender agenda. And I'm going to be honest. I love my transgender students. I love my LGBT students. And I put it this way: as a Christian, I will run you to a house, a burning house, to save you.
Yes.
But I just won't attend your wedding.
Absolutely.
That's my relationship.
Absolutely.
And he forced this agenda on us already. And I'm trying to tell everyone around, wake up. Don't you see that it's already happening? And Trump is pretty much our only hope that, they were, and not so much the way they were in any oppressive times, because I believe we all can live in unity,
right?
And I believe that to be true. And when progressives think, go back to the old.
Right.
See that. I don't see that as what what would be to come with the Trump administration. Will Hillary apologize?
That's a long shot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, I love I love what everyone is. So many people are saying, it doesn't matter if she apologizes or not because we happy that we at least we know where she's at. She's not even playing the political game at all. She just completely ignoring Catholics and Christians and how we feel. Like she said, like her inner circle said, we're backwards in our thinking. We're first we were a basket of deplorables, and now we're backwards in our thinking. It's just horrible. And I love what she said concerning the LGBTQ community. As a Christian and as a pastor, there's no hate here. Again, my job is not to judge the individual, but to simply love them right where they are. It is the love of God that brings change, not me telling you what's right or what's wrong, but simply showing you the love and to embrace and to, now that doesn't change my faith and my belief because I'm going to teach what the Word of God says, but I'm going to still show you the love of God despite whether you believe or not believe. Earlier, I had a caller who was an unbeliever. Am I going to shun him? No, I'm going to love him. I'm going to embrace him. I'm going to that's what real Christianity is. That's what being a real Catholic is. That's what being a real person of faith is, that it starts with love and just embracing one and God would do the rest. That's what I believe. Daniel from Michigan. Daniel, welcome to the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show. Daniel, you're live on the air. Welcome to the show.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
We can now. Your phone was on mute. Welcome to the show.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank God my Jesus is alive, right?
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Well, I can say this, that Jesus died for me, for my sins, not Hillary. Yeah. And, well, here's the thing. Hillary, whether she apologizes or not, she's part of the Antichrist, I think, in my book. But she doesn't represent anything except herself, and Trump is actually representing the people, is what he's representing.
Well, let me just say this. I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me just to fact check everybody who's watching, just to make sure. Hillary, again, she's declared publicly that she's a Methodist, and that she believes. What as the Methodist congregation believes, and she believes in the Lord Jesus Christ. So I just wanted to be everybody to know that we're watching. I know we may have our opinions on of her personally, but just know she has declared that publicly. So we have to treat her like we treat Donald Trump, which is. If they declare their faith, then it's between them and God, whether or not it is real. But go ahead, continue on.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And we're all accountable to our Creator. It's amazing how a corrupt person like this can get in there and run for office and go through the lies and things like that, like she does. And what really got me the other night in the debate is how she would take the child that's been in the mother's womb for 9 months and kill it. But afterwards she said that she...
Right.
Now that does not make no sense at all. I was like, this lady is so messed up. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and for
that's a very good point to make.
for a person, have you ever stopped and thought how a person like this gets into a place like this? Is for good men to sit back and do nothing.
Yes, absolutely. You are so right. You hit it right on the nail. First of all, let me just say this: when you said, she talked about how the person, and that's how she says it, the person, the unborn person. Doesn't qualify, does not have constitutional rights. the unborn person does not have constitutional rights, and that she believes that you could have abortions up to 9 months. To my understanding, even up to 1 hour prior to a child being born. I know some people trying to debunk that, but I've heard her say this on The View, okay, on The View, a very national broadcast, and she made it very clear her stance on late-term abortion and that the unborn person does not have constitutional right. But yet, at the end of her debate, she says, "But she is here for children." That is laughable, and I'm so grateful that you brought it up. And you also said that the reason how somebody like that, who is twisted in their ideologies, they're in power only because the church has been silenced. We've let this happen. We've let this happen. Instead of holding people accountable for their actions, we are electing them because they have the money, instead of being the voice, which is why the march onto the White House, the march to the White House from the Capitol to the White House this Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. is so important that you attend, because it is simply declaring to the world that that we are, one, standing behind Donald Trump, two, we are united, refuse to let mainstream media or any other organization dictate how we believe. It is a march of unity onto the White House. It is a march on unity onto the capital city, from the capital city onto the White House. And we're doing it together. Make sure you get there. Airplane, ticket, bus, train. Make sure you're there this Saturday and Sunday. I've said this before. I really think this is our last opportunity to elect a conservative president. I really do. I think this is our last hope. Donald Trump, of any big businesses, so he was declaring what the American people was telling him, and that's why he was, because he's not a polished politician. He's not your puppet. He is not going to say, do whatever those special interests wants him to do or say, but he's going to speak however rough it might be, and however rough it can be, and however hard it might be to your ear. He's going to say what the American public wants to be said. He is done with political correctness. And I believe it's because he's a billionaire, because he's already made his wealth. He doesn't have to take one speaking engagement like Hillary Clinton. He doesn't have to take any special interest money like Hillary Clinton. He doesn't have to appeal to the big businesses and the elite politicians in Washington, D.C. He's his own man. He's going to say and do what he believes the American people is screaming. And no one has been able to truly represent the heartbeat of America, because it's all surrounded around money, the haves and the have not. And those who have the money control the politics. But Donald Trump has come on the scene, and he has captured the heart of millions of voters in this country. And he is simply, that's why I believe this is our last opportunity. This is our last chance that we will ever have, I believe, to elect a true conservative Republican presidential candidate. Because if Donald Trump loses, this is how it's going to happen. If Donald Trump loses, after all the effort, after all the movement, after all the huge rallies, after all the money that was spent, after all of the traveling, campaigning all over this country, after all that has been all is done, and Donald Trump not being politically correct, but simply telling the truth like it is, having raised up all the support from millions of Americans. And if he still doesn't win, then the next Republican candidate who comes after him, they're going to have to begin to compromise their beliefs in order to get some of those Democrat votes. And I believe at that point, we begin to see the death of a true America, because every president is conservative Republican, and it become more and more of a progressive Republican. And then for the Republican Party won't have a real voice, because Republicans will sound so much like Democrats just to win the election. And I believe that's where we're heading to. I believe that's where we're going to. And this is our last chance. We got to let the world know, even with all the mainstream media against Donald Trump. And it's not just Donald Trump they're against us. I mean, you understand that, right? Donald Trump is the one that represents us, those of us who believe in giving unborn babies a right to live, those of us who believe in the Second Amendment, those of us who believe in the freedom of religion, those of us who want to see the Roe v. Wade overturned, those of us who want to make sure the Supreme Court justices, they interpret the Constitution as it was written when the founders wrote it and not as a living, breathing document that is forever changing based off of the population that comes into America. A group of Americans who believe that we should have borders that is protecting our country, and Americans who live here first, true Americans who are born here first, Americans giving those who live here an opportunity, who are from this great country, an opportunity to strive and to have the American dream. They are fighting against that. That's what they're fighting against. Because the minority, and I believe the liberals are the minorities, but we are so divided in the conservative circles. We're so divided, especially within our faiths. We're so divided that we would rather see Hillary Clinton win than to side with our brother or sister of faith, because we disagree on what we believe. And I believe that will be the downfall, the beginning of the downfall of our country. That's why we have to bond ourselves together. The comments that Hillary Clinton's inner circle made, about Catholics and evangelical Christians, you should be offended. And I want to give you my take and my notion on this, and then we're going, because we're coming off the air, and we want to try to get take a call or two before we go off the air. But the thing is, my take is this. You're right for those who said it's irrelevant that she apologized. And you're absolutely right. It really is irrelevant that she does apologize. But for me, the problem is the lack of respect that Hillary Clinton is showing the church. And some of the guests already said it earlier, but I'm of the same opinion. The real problem is we allowing it to happen. We of faith, we allowing it to happen. That's the problem. We're letting it happen. We're not demanding. If it was Islam, if it was a negative comment, if it was anti-Semitic, there would have been an outcry from those prospective groups. They would have been demanding some type of apology. But because it's just the Christians and the Catholics, even though we're not the minority, we're the majority in this country. And yes, President Obama, Vice President Biden, this is still a Christian nation. But because we're the majority and we don't come together, we let them run over us. We sit back and let them. It's right. It's irrelevant whether she offers apology. But the problem is the church is letting her get away with it, and she knows it. So there's no respect. There's no respect. And part of it is because we let it happen. And that's my thought. We shouldn't, as believers, we should come together, Catholics, Christians, evangelicals, all of us together, Protestants, Catholicism, all of us who believe, who know faith is so important to us, people of faith, we should come together more than ever. Remove our differences in theology. Put that aside and understand that if faith and the spiritual world is important to us, then that is our common ground and our freedom of religion, that we should have the right to declare who we believe in public. That doesn't mean, and when people say, Pastor Mark, what happened to separation from church and state? Obviously, you don't read your Constitution. Obviously, you don't really know what that means. It doesn't mean that people in the church can't be involved into politics. That doesn't mean that. What it simply meant was that the church can never dictate to the state what it should do, and the state should never be able to dictate to the church what it should do. That's what it means from separation of church and state. It means that there's no one church, no one religion can dictate to our government what they should do and not do. And our government cannot dictate to the church what it can and cannot do. There's separate entities. Like in Muslim countries, in our country, in our Muslim country, and I'm now told that we are now live on Facebook. Hello, everybody from Facebook. Everybody on Facebook, blessings to you. Welcome to the broadcast. We're talking about, should Hillary Clinton apologize to Christians or Christians and Catholics in this country? But the point is, the point that I'm making is this: that if y'all could get me that link, that'd be great, because I want to click on it and I want to be able to see everyone that's coming up on Facebook. But the problem is the separation from church and state don't mean, and people in their ignorance. I mean, I see it all the time on Twitter, and I see it all the time on Facebook. You know, what happened to whatever happened to separation from church and state? No. You got to understand what it means. You know, it doesn't mean that, oh, I'm in the church so I can't say anything. No, not at all. That means that we can't be ran like Islam dictates every ounce of life in Iran. In Iran, Islam, that religion, dictates every aspect of life in Iran, and they believe in certain beliefs that it controls the life of everybody, every citizen of Iran. We don't believe that. There's a separation from church and state. Okay? State shouldn't be dictating to us what we can and cannot do, who we can marry and who we shouldn't marry within our board. That's what's happening right now. If there's anybody who should be complaining about separation from church and state, it is not the state. It should be the church. That's my next post. I'm going to put that on Twitter. If there's anybody that's going to be complaining about the separation of church, state versus church, it's not the church. It's not the state. It's the church, because the state is dictating to the church what we can and cannot do. And that's the problem. That's the problem. We should be able to, people should be able to pray if they want to pray in schools. And if you don't want to pray, that's fine. You got that right. You won't get an F for not praying. You won't get ostracized for not praying. You won't get in trouble for not praying. That's between you and your house and your mom and daddy. I mean, y'all meet God for that. That's between y'all. But for those who want to, they should have the right to pray. You shouldn't eliminate it simply because a few, and it is a few, that doesn't want prayer in the schools. The majority wants to pray. Minority does not want to pray. So now let's remove it from everybody. No, that's foolish. And we, the church, are letting it happen. We're letting it happen. This is why I'm saying we should be forcing Hillary Clinton, even though it's a fake apology, we should be forcing her, because we have a voice and we should be heard. We should be heard. And you should revere the fact that there are millions of people of faith in this country. Millions of people of faith in this country that believe. Millions of people of faith that believe. We are letting it happen. We are letting it happen. We're too silent. We're too silent. We're not coming together. And I want you to make sure you come together on this Saturday and this Sunday, March for America 2016. I'll be praying on the Capitol grounds. It's going to be a powerful movement. And I'm told it's going to be about tens of thousands are going to be there. And I'm told all mainstream media is going to be there. And then we even have, I'm told, Israel's #1 television station network. They're going to be there. And I'll be praying on the Capitol grounds. And there are going to be other powerful speakers who are going to be there. And at 9 o'clock, I'm going to start off with a prayer from the Capitol grounds. It's going to be a powerful move, and I believe it's going to go across the nation. And I'm going to pray to the nation, and I'm going to pray that the church rise up, that people of faith rise up, that we bound ourselves together, that we link arms, removing our differences of theology and just link arms together to make sure that we're voting our faith. My faith, Democrat, not being a Republican, but my faith votes. Which candidate believes in abortion? Hillary Clinton. Which candidate believes that babies should have a chance to live and pro-life? Donald Trump. Which candidate believes that same-sex marriage should be federalized and forced on all states? Hillary Clinton. Which candidate believes that if it's going to be legal, then let it be left up to the states, the individual states, so the people can decide in individual states? Donald Trump. Which candidate wants to keep the Johnson Amendment in place, which means pastors like myself legally cannot speak from the pulpit, which I don't, about politics and about who you should, instead of them telling their congregation that this is whom you should be voting for because they're more in line to the Bible, they don't do it. They don't do it. Their mouths are quiet. So Hillary Clinton wants to keep the Johnson Amendment in place. Donald Trump wants to repeal it and overturn it. One candidate wants to make sure that the Supreme Court justices that are the 2 to 3 Supreme Court justices, they want to make sure that those Supreme Court justices interpret the Constitution as a living, breathing document where it's going to be interpreted based off of America today and not how the founders wrote it. Donald Trump wants to make sure that the Supreme Court justices that are selected, that those people, those justices, interpret the Constitution as though it was written when our founders wrote the Constitution. There's a major contrast of difference. There's a major contrast. Donald Trump wants to create jobs by pulling companies out of overseas and to create new deals. Obamacare, which means taxing more small businesses like me and the thousands and the millions of you that are out there that have small businesses, so that instead of putting the power back into the small business,
guy was threatened and told that if he released this information, life would eventually be over. The legitimacy of this claim will be proved because I believe this is one of the last arrows that the DNC is going to fire at. So this video is going to break in the future right now. In the future, that this.
Yeah, I have not yet to see that at all. I haven't yet seen that. But if you're in the chat room, put a link on there so we can look at it. I haven't seen it. Or just send me a private message on Twitter. I have yet to see that at all, but I would like to take a look at it. So if you have access to that, make sure you private message us here at Pastor Mark Burns on Twitter. Make sure that I see that. I want to take a look at that. Our last caller of the night is David from North Carolina. David, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Colors Unite.
Yes, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I think that people need to know this thing about our Constitution. Our Constitution is a contract, a legal document, like you said earlier, and people need to understand that this country has an obligation, to demand these privileges the Constitution gave us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Lord gave me a word in Genesis 38, the harlot, to get that, the word and the promise that Judah made to her. And we as voters, I'm not saying that, we should do anything that is illicit, but I believe that we should demand our rights to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people don't realize that John Adams, one of the forefathers and signers of, the Constitution, he said these words. He said, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people and is wholly inadequate to the government of others. Meaning that, this Constitution only works for us and is a legal binding contract. And I believe wholeheartedly that we need to spend time to pray this whole week, this whole month, and seriously think about this is our future that we're dealing with.
Yes, it is without a doubt a future that we're fighting for. Again, I can't stress this enough. We cannot sit at home. We cannot sit at home. We cannot sit at home and let anyone steal this election from us. This is our last time. Donald Trump is doing his part. He's out there campaigning. I'm with him when we can be, but it's down to the wire. Be encouraged, everyone. Be encouraged. Don't watch mainstream media. I know it can be distressing. To Karen Heller, who sent me a message on Twitter, and she said to have Donald Trump stop focusing on himself, but focus on the issues. And you're watching the news and how distressing it is watching the news. And trust me when I tell you, the news is not going to report anything good about Donald Trump. It is very clear, even at the very end, that the news is biased against Donald Trump. It is biased against Donald Trump. And so I know Donald Trump, he loves America, and he wants to see this country taken back. I want to invite every one of you again. There's a GoFundMe.com for March for America 2016. GoFundMe, and just search March for America 2016. I want to invite you all to go and donate to this. This is not my event. I'm just a guest speaker there, but I just feel like supporting anybody that's supporting Donald Trump, like I've been supporting RSBN and how they've been supporting Donald Trump. Go to GoFundMe.com. They raised close to $9,000 right now. People are sowing and pouring into it. They have a goal up there. So I want you to, we have 8 days to raise some more money. Again, I'm just a guest. I'm just invited to come and speak. This is not my event personally, but I am going to be there because I believe in America. And this rally, this March for America, it is to support Donald Trump, and it is to support what we believe in as conservative Americans in this country. And it's clearly that the mainstream media has been biased against Donald Trump. I want you to go and support it. If you can't be at the march, at least go support it financially. Just like you're supporting RSBN.com. Your gifts have been so great to Joe and the whole team. They're extremely thankful the things that people who's continuously supporting. I'm so glad that to see they're doing more and more officially with the campaign, Joe and the whole team. And it's because you've been out there. You've been out there making people know who RSBN is. And Donald Trump, he loves people. He loves people who start with nothing and work their way up. And Joe, the whole team is doing just that. They're doing some official stuff with the Trump campaign, as you saw in the last debate. They were there right in the thick. They hosted the final the beautiful set that I prayed from. They were there right there in the midst. And I was so proud to see those guys there and to meet some of the other team members of RSBN and to see where they've come from and where God has taken them. So the Bible says, be faithful over a few things. God will make you rulers over many. Listen, meet me this Saturday and Sunday in Washington, D.C. Be there. Train, car, plane, however you need to get there. Make sure you're there on the Capitol grounds at 9 a.m. I want to see you there. And I want to see some RSBN signs. Go to Facebook. Just type in March for America 2016. And you will find all the information there. There's also GoFundMe. So if you want to say, I can't make it there because of my job or whatever, but I want to help make sure it's successful, just throw in some financial support to them at that GoFundMe page. And it's going to be an amazing event. Tens of thousands of people are going to be there. And I'm so honored to be one of the speakers. And I will be praying from the Capitol ground. This is our last chance for a conservative president. So if Donald Trump doesn't win, trust me, every Republican candidate after that will begin to really compromise their beliefs just to win votes. And we can't let that happen. Listen, I'm Pastor Mark Burns. You're watching The Colors That Unite. I love you. We will be doing a special this Tuesday. I want everybody to be in prayer. ABC Nightline will be here in my studio. And I'm part, they're going to be doing a story on me, which is a part of a larger story. So I want all my prayer warriors to be praying for me. That, again, we want to make sure that God is in the midst of this as God continues to give me this national platform on secular media, mainstream media. And I want to make sure that the right words come out so that he be glorified. And that we continue to inspire the millions of evangelical Christians and Catholics around this country to stand with me and stand with Donald Trump and make sure that we take our country back. So ABC Nightline will be here this Tuesday. We'll be doing a special presentation this Tuesday well, I actually will let everybody know because I think we had scheduled it for 7 o'clock, but we may do it a little bit earlier. But we'll make sure that Joe and the whole team get the word out there to everyone because we want you to be a part of it. Nightline will be here. ABC Nightline will be here to film part of that. So we're going to be making sure we try to put RSBN name out there on ABC Nightline. So be in prayer. And then once we do the taping and they finish it up, we'll get the word when it's going to be airing so everybody can watch it. But this Tuesday, we'll be doing a special broadcast here on RSBN. Family, I love you so much. Don't forget to love somebody. Tell somebody you love them. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're my brother, you're my sister, despite the color you are. Here in America, the only colors that matter are the colors of the red, white, and blue. God bless you. See you Tuesday.
There's only the one color that matters, and that is the color of red, white. Focusing on the colors that unite us, USA. USA, USA, USA.